Hi everyone, this is Paul here with a report on the solar eclipse during Pisces at 2:58 p.m. on the 26th of February Universal Time. This particular eclipse brings to close the eclipse window that we've been experiencing since the lunar eclipse in Leo on the 11th of February. So past couple of weeks or so since that eclipse, the key theme has been a matter of shedding the past, especially when it comes to past issues related to not knowing how to receive love of other people, having a low sense of self-esteem, which then makes it difficult to love ourselves and love others. Now with the solar eclipse in Pisces, this brings to close the shedding period and an opportunity to start anew in life. Now in Pisces, these themes that the solar eclipse identifies is how can we be better embodying qualities like love, compassion, empathy, sensitivity towards other people, and potentially enhanced psychic abilities. But these abilities all depends on how much work we're prepared to do on ourselves. We already have them. It's not something that you just get or anything like that. It's a case of rediscovering them or reconnecting with them. Not necessarily these things to do with someone who's lived a very conditioned life, but everyone has the potential to tap into those abilities again if they so choose, and if they're prepared to do the often hard work of facing themselves and getting rid of all the internal blocks, in the forms of beliefs, conditioning, etc., that stand between them and being able to harness their own innate psychic capacities. Because if you look at kids, they come with them fully developed, but over time they're taught to dismiss them as fantasy, dismiss them as non-existent, and unless we had the right kind of childhood growing up where we were encouraged to develop these gifts, most of us just lose contact with them over the course of time and we just forget all about them. So this particular solar eclipse has potential to get back in touch with these conditions, but more importantly it's a chance to tap into universal love, the love of the divine, of God, of the universe. Call it what you will depending on what you feel comfortable saying. And if we can tap into this unconditional love, the capacity for healing both of ourselves and others is far superior to any other form of loving. Because if we can love someone unconditionally, then we don't feel stressed giving any love towards them. But if they're receptive to it, they're given the opportunity to transform from the inside and to heal. But remember, that's not to say go out and share it to everyone. Not everyone is receptive to it, and if the other person isn't receptive, don't waste time trying to rescue them. By all means send them love, but if they're not someone who can handle it, or they're someone who will use it to their advantage and be manipulative, then it's better off to just love that particular person from afar. Because it's one thing having unconditional love in our hearts and giving it to everyone around us, but that does not mean that we should just be a doormat and accept the shit that other people give us. Excuse the language. So we all have the capacity for unconditional love because we were born with it, but again, like the psychic abilities, we lose touch with that over time because conditioning we get from society says, no, you can't do that, well that's childish, no point doing that, why are you behaving like that, that's not just being an adult. And over time we just seem to lose the capacity to love ourselves and others in the same way that we were born able to do. So this final chapter of the astrological year with the sun having a solar eclipse in Pisces is new energy, new possible seeds of new beginnings of unconditional love, and these seeds we'll see them developing over the course of the next 6 months up until the next eclipse season around about August time, when the nodes will have completely shifted and we'll be into a brand new theme. This is the last major thrust of the nodal lessons from Virgo and Pisces that we've been dealing with for the past 15 to 18 months. So it's important that we do take the lessons on board and we make the most of this final eclipse, because the next time that we go through these two signs again, it might be for another 7 to 8 years. So there's a lot of additional lessons between now and then, but the more we can learn from them now, the stronger we'll be going forwards. So with Pisces, we've got the South Node there at the moment, so the main theme there has been letting go of victim consciousness, letting go of emotional extremism, tendency to escape, any addictive tendencies, and reluctance to take any action whatsoever to make changes, and to let go of the tendency to be vague and become more analytical and become better at organising things and bringing order to chaos. Now, just to be clear, that kind of order we're talking about is more divine order in the long run, because we all have our own sense of what order should be, but who's to say one person's order is actually better than the other, or is actually the true sense of order? There's an underlying order to everything, but sometimes the chaos of Pisces is needed to break down the existing order for the new one to come through, so that we're better as people, we're more aligned with the divine plan, we become better able to become agents of change, and we can radiate the love from our hearts to the surrounding environment without being drained by doing so, because we're connected to the source. We're not just burning up our own fuel inside to the point where we run dry and then start feeling resentful. We feel the love continuously filling us up and overflowing into the environment, and then radiating outwards and bringing change that way. So whilst this has been a period of learning to take action and step into our creative power, it's also important to remember the gifts of the South Node, which are unconditional love, psychic abilities which allow us to engage the flow better, strong intuition and sensitivity to other people's emotions, and understanding how to be empathetic and compassionate towards that person without being drawn into that person's drama, because at the moment they don't know how to let go of victim consciousness. So solar eclipse in Pisces is going to be a major opportunity to learn how to embrace our emotional sensitivities, embrace our ability to be compassionate and empathetic towards others. And if we haven't learned how to do that yet, then this is a time to really learn how to develop those skills and then embody them, so that those gifts are a key part of who we are, because we're all born with them, but over time a lot of us are conditioned to lose contact with them through various means, whether it be things like education when we're young, peer pressure when we're older, or expectation to be responsible and put aside any need for happiness when we're adults, because we're told that we just have to sacrifice and be responsible and contribute. Yeah, they may be valid concerns, but we're not just there to keep the machine running. We all have our own unique gifts. We all have the capacity to be loving and nurturing towards one another, but if we've lost track of those abilities within us, it's time that we grow them again and shed the layers that stand between those innate parts of ourselves and who we think we are at the moment. So those are some of the key themes of the solar eclipse. There aren't that many aspects to it, but it is forming a relatively close conjunction to Neptune, so that adds an even stronger emphasis on Piscean energy, because Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, and helps to open up this transcendence, as long as we do it with love and discipline, and we don't just go for addictive tendencies instead. We also have the benefit of Ceres in Taurus, so Ceres is the nurturing principle, and in Taurus it's about physical nurturance, so nurturing with food, with touch, through helping people with physical tasks like that. And there's also Juno in Capricorn, so this is stable relationships with soulmates. By soulmate I don't mean strictly romantic. Soulmate could be anyone who we have a very deep, powerful bond with, that goes above and beyond mere acquaintance and who has been there for us. These two goddess asteroids are both there to help us and be a bit more grounded through the process of embodying the energies of the solar eclipse, and also the key aspects that need to be developed anyway, and the ability to be in stable relationships that are committed and have a solid foundation and aren't simply based on emotions and romantic feelings, which can die down in time if we don't remember to nurture one another in the long haul. While Sarah's mothering goddess, she brings physical nurturance and remembering to nurture each other and not just ourselves. So I hope those hints of what the solar eclipse is going to be useful for you. This theme will be panning out over the next 6 months. It's not just for the next couple of weeks. So these are the long-term goals, if you like, and as long as we work on ourselves throughout that period and keep remembering whatever goals we set at this time in terms of new beginnings, then we have the capacity to go very far in reconnecting with our humanity and radiating love, compassion and kindness to everyone around us. So I hope that gives you some useful guidance. Take care, be blessed.